Because this thing isn't going to go away. This thing is going to perpetuate itself into the future. For instance, tomorrow's economy is going to go green. Well, if we don't recognize that immigrant skills don't get translated into Canadian skills commensurate employment, because our trajectory into the job market is not as simple as this is my qualification, this is the job welcome. Our trajectory is, how do I, equivalencies? Our trajectory is credential assessments. Our trajectory is prior learning assessments. If those are not built into job market, what is going to happen to immigrant people whose skill sets are international, they're just not Canadian? It's like my Somali friend always says, I'm a boiler engineer. Do you think Somalia makes boilers? No. I worked on Swiss boilers, I worked in German boilers, I worked on British boilers. I come to Canada and they say, oh no, but Canadian boilers are so esoteric, you can't possibly work on them. All my doctor friends, I live in Mississauga, what my children call Brown Town. Yeah, they used to play a game called Spot the White Man. They can't play it. I live in an area, which by the way is called an ethnic enclave. When rich white people live in a neighborhood, that's not an ethnic enclave. But when brown people and poor people live together, it's an ethnic enclave. And that's somehow bad. The point is, when I live in Mississauga, I couldn't find a family physician for 6 years. Because family physicians there's a shortage of family physicians. I used to take a cab. Linguistically specific services, man. It was usually a product from South Asia. Where is medical Grey's Anatomy like right there? And let me tell you, according to Grey's Anatomy, a Canadian body looks pretty much the same as a Somali body. But hello, our system is so esoteric that of course it can be translated into, yes ma'am, it can be translated into skills commensurate employment. So all those people, we have even in Ottawa, but in Toronto for sure, our great contribution to modern civilization in the 21st century is to have the most educated cab driving force in the world. You can have any conversation you want with a pizza deliverer, with a security guard, with the janitor, or with the cab driver. The last one that I met was from Syria with a master's in French literature. What can I say? He drove the cab quite well. So the thing is that when you're dealing with issues of rethinking poverty and you don't deal with race, you will not understand what is happening. And what will happen is the government people within all that, I love politicians. They're representatives, man. If you don't like them, go change them. But if you like them, because you elected them, and they listen to you. But the thing is, we're Canadians, we don't talk like, bad things. But if the politicians don't begin to talk about race, then you've got to make them. That's what democracy is all about. Hold your leaders accountable. It is a poverty-reduction strategy. Tell them you want employment equity. Why don't we have employment equity? At a time when more and more people are getting trained someplace else, we need employment equity more rather than less. Why don't you talk about every ministry producing disaggregated data? So that you know. So you and I, the civil society, can actually track whether our pain is being dealt with or whether it's just a pain I gotta live with. That's what a democratic society is all about. You and I need to make sure that tomorrow's green economy has not already been copyrighted. Because if we don't get jobs today, we ain't going to get jobs tomorrow, man. You think somebody from Africa is going to be considered adequately, skilled to work in a green economy? The fact that we invented green, we used to be green and now we've been forced into all kinds of other ways, is irrelevant. Nobody goes into history anymore. The point is, if you're not careful, we are going to take this marginality which is based on the issue of race, and that race gets translated into, oh, I'm sorry, but your skills can be translated into skills commensurate employment into the future. And please remember, if it were a newcomer phenomenon, then that makes us feel good. It fits into our multicultural Canadian I'm so nice paradigm. If it was a newcomer phenomenon, then you would rationally believe that 10, 15 years from now it would go away. Because the old immigrant discourse was, you come to work hard, it's what's called delayed gratification. You come to work hard, your children do better, and 10 to 15 years later, you catch up with the Canadian average. In fact, you may even surpass it. But the discourse that is happening right now, and according to all the statistical data, it is showing, is that immigrants and refugees who are coming in now are actually coming in with much higher skill levels and economic status in their countries of origin than ever before. They are also coming in with much higher education. They are not into delayed gratification. They want their gratification now. And what is happening to them is 10, 15 years later, they are not only not catching up with the Canadian average, they are actually falling behind. And their children are doing worse. So don't misunderstand me. What is happening to immigrants and refugees in the past 20, 30 years is not the same as that old, outmoded immigrant discourse that we used to have. And what is catching up, the only thing that immigrants and refugees and newcomers are catching up to is the Aboriginal reality and the African-Canadian reality. The one thing that we share with our Aboriginal brothers and sisters is we are all marginalized along the issue of race. So don't misunderstand me, please. I'm willing to talk to you about it. I'm willing to have a conversation with you about it. And I'm willing to joke about life. But if 20 years from now, our children are standing here saying exactly, Ismail is standing here and his kids are standing here saying the same thing. Yes, ma'am, I'm about to finish. If they are standing here saying exactly the same thing, then we haven't done anything. Then we've wasted this day. And we have not really thought about poverty in a different way. So I'm asking you, when you make your, not only in your deliberations at the end of the day, but also in terms of your input into the poverty reduction strategy that the provincial government is coming up with, please ask for things like employment equity. Please ask for disaggregated data from all ministries. So that if we are going to, if their matrix is right and we are going to have 25% in 5 years, I want to know which 25%. Because genetically, we are all here. What the hell is made with genetic intentions? I just don't want to go to hell. So please, what we've got to do is actually start acknowledging what is at the core of our issue here, which is that poverty and race go hand in hand. Thank you very much.
Really is our privilege. Unfortunately, we are running a little bit late, so your questions will have to be kind of held for the day. I know that Uzma is giving a presentation, The Color of Poverty, after the break. Hopefully, it will continue some of the discussions. I would also ask just a quick thing, if people would please turn off their cell phones. It is a little bit disruptive when they start ringing. My understanding is that we don't have any time for questions, or no? No. So, but you can, you can grab her on the corner. Hallway, please.
From the corner or on the bus?
Actually, I have to ask questions to Uzma here. But before I go, I just want to say, I'm no longer nervous. The reason why, because I didn't know I can attract all types of women. So you actually